In this module, I want to walk you through sending in a shipment to Amazon's warehouses. So we're going to send in our product so that Amazon can warehouse it and distribute it for us. Now typically what's going to happen is they're going to have you ship it to anywhere between 1 and 3, sometimes 4 different warehouses around the country. And then they'll take it from those warehouses and they'll spread it out to additional warehouses based on an algorithm that they have. So they may tell you ship everything to Dallas, for example. And once it gets into Dallas, then they're going to take it, and they know that if you ship 100 units, based on their predictive algorithm or maybe based on your past sales, they're going to look at it and say, we know that 26 people in the New York area are likely to order this, 7 people in Atlanta, 21 people in Seattle, 6 people in California, whatever the number is, and then they'll spread it out from there. So Amazon actually chooses the warehouses that you ship to, whether you ship it from China, whether you ship it from your house, whether you ship it from your local warehouse or your 3PL. Amazon will actually decide where it goes. Typically they try to get at least one of those close to you, but sometimes they can be all the way across the country. So you do have an option. If you just want to ship it to one place, you can do what's called inventory placement. But Amazon charges an additional fee for that. So if you want to do inventory placement, what you want to do is you want to come up here to your settings, and you're going to go under Fulfillment by Amazon. Right here, Fulfillment by Amazon. You're going to click on that. And then there's a setting here under Inbound Settings, and you can do what's called inventory placement. There's an option here. So you can click this Edit, and you can actually turn on inventory placements right here by just changing this. So what then will happen is Amazon will ship everything to a single fulfillment center. Now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to determine the cost. They're going to charge you an extra fee. If you click the little Learn More here, they'll tell you a little bit more about the program, and there are exceptions to it. You can see here the fees right now, depending on the size of it. 1 pound or less is 30 cents, 1 to 2 pounds 40 cents. This is per unit. Over 2 pounds, 40 cents plus 10 cents a pound, and oversized things are even more. So you'd have to do the math and determine, is it worth me paying this extra fee so that I can save a little bit of hassle and only ship to one warehouse? Or if it's not, you're better off to just let Amazon pick the 3 warehouses that you send it to, and you send it to those. But if you want to turn this on, that's where you would turn this on. So I'm going to leave this on distributed right now. You turn that on, then hit update if that's what you want to do, but I'm going to leave that on distributed. So that's one option there. You just have to weigh out the advantages that most people don't do the inventory placement, but in some cases it may be beneficial to you. So you'd have to analyze that on a case-by-case basis. But if you're going to ship stuff into Amazon, what you're going to want to do is you want to go into your inventory. And where I like to do it, you can do it from either one of these, but Manage FBA Inventory, or you can do it from Manage Inventory. Either one of these places will get you to the same place. But so if we just do it from here, what we want to do is I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to click on the item that I want to send in. So let's say I was going to send in this item. I know you can't see what it is right now, but let's say I was going to send in this particular item. I would just click on it. If I had 2 items to send in, I could click both of them. But in this case, I'm just going to send some of this one in. So you see up here where it says Action on one selected. I'm going to actually pull that down and put this to Send Replenish Inventory. Send Replenish Inventory right here. Click that to Send Replenish Inventory, and then it's going to walk me through some steps here on the screen. So it's going to say where is it shipping from, and you can enter the address of your local warehouse if that's where it's shipping from. If you're shipping it from China, you could enter your freight forwarder in China, but most likely what you'll probably want to do is enter the whoever's handling it for you. Say it's coming into the port of Los Angeles or Long Beach, you would want to actually probably enter your 3PL in that area, so you get some better distribution. Hopefully they'll send it to California for you, because if I put my Texas address and I don't really want it coming over to Texas, it's going to come into California by boat, and it's going to I don't want to have to ship it all the way to Texas. I may have to ship it all the way back to California. So you might put your 3PL, if that's who you're using's address there. You're also going to then say, is this individual products or case packed? Individual products means you have an assortment of different things. It's 3 of this, 7 of that, 10 of this in a box. So it's different things in a box. If you're ordering private label, most of your stuff should be case packed. So I'm going to click on the case packed products right here, and I'm going to say continue the shipping plan. And then it's going to ask you here some questions. You're going to have to enter how many units per case. So you're going to have to get that from your manufacturer if you don't know it. But let's say in this case I have 50 units per case. How many cases are there? I'd say there's 2 in this particular case. Well, actually, let's say 5 just for this example. Now, Amazon doesn't like more than 150 units per case, and they don't like boxes to weigh more than 50 pounds. Now, they can weigh more than 50 pounds, but if they do, you're going to have to put some additional labeling on there that says like heavy, team lift. There's some requirements that Amazon has that you can check out on their website that'll explain exactly what you have. If you don't do that, you can get a policy violation. So I try to keep everything under 150 units per case. A lot of times, sometimes it's 5 per case or 10, or in this case we'll say 50, and try to keep everything under 50 pounds. I've even had my manufacturers in the past actually take stuff, or they were putting them in big heavy boxes that weighed like 70 pounds each, and I had them reconfigure it down into I could put less per case, but it saved me some hassle, and actually ended up saving me a little bit of money on the shipping too. But so you enter the number of cases here. If you had multiple products, they would all appear here. Who is doing the prep, this prep guidance right here? Who's actually doing the prep work? And so you can actually say Amazon is going to label this stuff, or if you've already got it labeled, if you've got your FN SKU already printed or your UPC already printed on the box or your label, you would put merchant. If you're wanting Amazon to do that for you, they're going to do it, but they're going to charge you a fee per unit. You would say Amazon. So in most cases, if you're doing this right, you're going to say merchant. You're going to choose the category here, and so you're going to have to say, is this a baby product, or is it a liquid, is it adult, is there no prep needed? In most cases, for a lot of you, if you fall into one of these categories, make sure you choose it, but for most of you, it's going to be this no prep needed, and just say choose. Okay, and what this is doing now is it's telling me, it wants me, I got lucky here, it didn't ask me to ship it to 3 places. It said ship 1 SKU, 5 cases of them, all 250 units, to this warehouse right here in Dallas, Texas. And I can come in here and I can assign a name. They put a default name here, but I can come in and assign a name, say shipment 1 of Kevin's product, or whatever I want. If you have some code or something you want to put there, that way it's easy to track it later. And then I'm going to say approve and continue. When I say approve and continue, it's going to take me to another screen where I'm going to have to enter even more information. Our shipment is now basically created. The basic information is in the system, and now I'm ready to actually ship the product. Now, if you want, this is one way that you can get actually without actually, maybe your product is in manufacturing right now and you're not ready quite yet to completely ship it. Okay, so these are some of the shipments that I've shipped in the past, and you can see that they'll give you a status that they're receiving it. This was one I deleted. I was doing like a test. This ones are closed. That means they received everything and everything is good. These are still receiving, because you can see here I said I shipped 1,000 and they only received 997. It's very common for Amazon to either say they receive more than what you shipped or less than what you shipped. They lose stuff or they miscount. And if it's in your favor, they lose stuff, you can file a claim later on and they'll reimburse you for that. And Helium 10 has a really great tool that is part of the Helium 10 suite that will do that for you as well, called Refund Genie. It'll periodically check and see if there's discrepancies. But right now we're going to work on this shipment. So I'm going to say work on shipment. Okay, now I've got to actually get the labels for the shipping company, and I got to actually prepare it. The first thing I just did a little bit ago was just the basic steps to say this is what we're going to ship and this is how it's packaged. Now the second part of this is who's going to ship this. Am I going to do this by UPS? Am I going to do this by some trucking line? How is this going to be shipped? So there's 2 ways here. Small parcel delivery, or SPD, means it's typically UPS. That's the most common one that you use. Now you can use FedEx or the Postal Service or something like that. I don't recommend you do that unless you have some major advantage to do that, because UPS is partnered with Amazon and the rates are just ridiculously cheap. You can't compete with them. It doesn't matter how much you're doing, the rates are so cheap. For example, if I shipped a 50-pound box under my account, even with my discounts, it might cost me, I don't know, $35. I can ship that same box into Amazon for like $7. It's crazy cheap rates. So if you use one of these other carriers, you're going to have to use like your own account. So if I want to use FedEx Ground, for example, I can do that, but it's not an Amazon partnered carrier, so I'm going to have to be using my own account, and it's probably not going to be beneficial to me cost-wise. So if small parcels, typically UPS. The advantage to UPS is it usually gets checked in faster. So if it's the holiday season or you need something there quicker, UPS usually gets checked in faster into the warehouses than if you ship freight. Freight is this LTL, that's less than truckload. So that means you're shipping stuff on pallets. This has to be palletized. Pallets are like those big wooden platforms that you see. So if you're going to ship something by a pallet, if you're going to do this LTL, you can ship up to 52 pallets, and they have to be stackable. Now Amazon, when you do this, they're going to choose the trucking company. You don't have to go out and find a trucking company and make a contract with them. Amazon has partnerships with a bunch of different trucking companies, and they'll assign somebody to you. It takes about 24 hours when you ship one of these, and they'll actually assign one to you, and the rates are ridiculously low also. For example, you might hire a trucking company and say, I need you to ship these 3 pallets from Austin to Dallas, and they might charge you $500, versus Amazon's rate would be like $80 or something crazy low. So if you have a lot of stuff to ship in and you're not on a time crunch, LTL can be a good way. Now you have to remember, when you're shipping LTL, it has to be on pallets, and stuff can't stick over the edge of the pallets. Pallets are typically 48 inches by 40 inches, and you can't go over more than about 5 feet tall on a pallet. So you have to, and Amazon wants them to be stackable, so they should be able to be, you should be able to put stuff on top of each other. So that's very, very important. And not over, like I said, not over 5 feet tall, and they have to be shrink wrapped. So you have to have that plastic, that clear plastic that goes all the way around all sides of it. So it's a little bit more work, but if you have a 3PL, they'll do all this stuff for you. They're used to doing it all day long. UPS, it doesn't have to be shrink wrapped. It doesn't have to go on a pallet. It can be individual boxes, and you stick a label that Amazon's going to give you on there, and you're good to go. If you're shipping by palletized, you're going to have to put a label on each box that's on the pallet. So if you have like 40 cases on the pallet, each of those is going to have a label on it. And then the outside of the pallet, if you stack everything on the pallet, you put the plastic and you shrink wrap all the way around the pallet, all to keep everything from moving really, really tight. You're going to have 4 additional labels you have to put on each side outside on the shrink wrap. That way the trucking company knows, no matter which way the pallet is turned, they know where to send it. But let's do this small parcel one for right now, and say we're going to use UPS's, Amazon's UPS. Now here you're going to say, how is this? Is this a bunch of boxes, or is everything in one box? Well, if you remember, I had 5 cases. We said we had 5 cases here, 250 units, 5 cases. So I'm going to say this is multiple boxes. And then Amazon's going to ask you here, they wanted you to give them some additional information. You can use the web form, you can upload a file if you're shipping a lot, or you can skip this, and Amazon's going to charge you a fee for not telling them what's in the boxes. We've kind of already told them what's in the boxes, but they want you to tell them again here. I don't recommend you do this. Upload a file is only for advanced sellers or people shipping a lot, so the web form is going to be fine for you, which is this form right here. So we have a shipment quantity of 250. Remember, there's 50 per case, and so I'm going to put 50 there, 5 cases, and I know the weight of these is say 35 pounds. And then this is the box dimensions. This is your shipping box, not the dimensions of your item that's inside there, but the shipping box. So if this was like 15 inches by, say, 15 inches by 10 inches, whatever it is, you're going to enter that here. You're going to round up. So if it's 14.1, that equals 15. If it's 14.9, that also equals 15. If it's 15.06, that's 16. So you got to round up. It's not rounded. You go to the next highest number to be more technical about it. So once you enter this, and if you have multiple items, you would do it all there. You're going to hit this confirm, and Amazon's going to say everything is good. They might ask you another question in here. If you have a lot of items, they give you little boxes up here where you can like apply to all, so you don't have to enter everything. And then what they're going to do right down here is they say, okay, based on the information we've given them, you got 5 boxes, the shipment weighs 175 pounds, calculate the estimated shipping cost. So you can see here these 5 boxes, 175 pounds, it's pretty heavy stuff. It's going to cost $41.82 to ship it from my location where I told them I'm shipping it from, up here at the top. this address right here, and you can change that address if it's different. I'm shipping to Dallas. It's only going to cost me $41. That's dirt cheap. I can tell you that's super cheap. If you agree to that, you click on here and you say accept charges. And when you do that, Amazon's not going to charge your credit card or anything right now. They're going to deduct it from your account. So once this goes out and actually ships, they're not going to deduct it today. They'll deduct it actually once it gets scanned into the system. They'll deduct it out from your next payment, or if you don't have any money, they'll end up charging your credit card later on. And so right now you have some time. You have 24 hours if I want to avoid this. So I have 24 hours to avoid this and avoid any accidental charging. And then you're going to have this print box labels right here. So this, I'm going to click on the print box labels, and it's going to make a PDF that looks something like this. Now if you're labeling these yourself, you're going to print this out on label paper, or you're going to save this PDF and send this to your supplier or to your 3PL, and you're going to give this to them, and they'll use this to send this into Amazon. It tells Amazon the label is a big label, so it takes like almost a big huge sheet of paper. They're not little small labels. So it has the UPS information here, and then it has information for Amazon to check it in all here, so they know what it is. It even has the SKU. I know this is crooked there, but it has the SKU and the quantity and everything, so you can keep the label straight, or your 3PL can keep the label straight. So that's how you would do it. And then you just say complete shipment if it's done, and then once it's ready to ship, once it's actually shipped, you can come in here and click this mark shipment. Now if I want to, I can actually go back and I can delete this shipment. I can go back here. Remember, we can void these charges right here. Because I was just showing you an example, so I'm going to void these charges, and that way I won't be charged by Amazon. And if I go back to my shipping queue, it says it changed it back to working. And if I decided I don't want it, I was just playing around here, I can say I can delete this shipment out of the system. So I can come down here and say delete shipment, and that'll completely wipe it away, and now it's gone. So you can sit here and play around and try to get the feel for it. As long as you go in there and void those charges and delete, you're just going to have, see how these say deleted. That's some in the past. So another thing you can do is you can come into manage inventory, and once things are shipped in, when they start receiving them, you're going to notice that not everything's available at once. So sometimes you may even go and look in here. It says 123 of this particular one are available right now. But if I go into this, it says that 5 are on reserve. So what does reserve mean? If you click on this little icon, it'll show you that 1's waiting for a customer order, 3 are being transferred. That's where Amazon's transferring it to some other warehouse. Remember I said you might ship them all to Dallas, but Amazon's like, well, we need one over in Houston and we need a couple over in Lubbock or something. FC processing means that it's still like checking in, or they're checking something out. They're doing something with it. Maybe they're weighing it, or it's still checking in, or it could have been damaged and someone's got to check it. So that's what that means. So you can come here for an explanation, like this one's got 110, so 104 of them are getting transferred out to other warehouses right now, and 1's waiting to ship for a customer order. So that's how that works there. So let's go back to the shipping queue, and you can see all your past shipments, and it'll show you what's happening. So if I click on one, it'll show me what was in that shipment, where it went, all that kind of stuff. So you can get information there if you want to. You can do reconciliations and everything. Another thing, let's say that we're going to ship this in by freight. Let's say this was a really heavy item, or you're shipping a lot, and it just doesn't make sense to do UPS. So let's say that I was going to ship 2 items this time. I'm going to ship 2 of these. So I'm going to click on 2 items. Action on 2 selected. I'm going to say send replenish inventory. It's going to say, are you sure you want to do 2? I'm going to say yes. And so I'm going to have, and you could do this also for UPS shipments. These are going to be case packed. You can change the address here if you have a different shipping address that's coming from. And see here now we got 2 items, but here I can use this thing at the top. So if I know they're both 50, I can just enter it once. I don't have to enter everything all the way down. And then say I'm gonna, just for this example, I'm gonna do 10 cases of each one. Let's say 10 cases of each one right there. Okay. And then I'm gonna say continue. I could add more products here if I need to. Say continue. And then here I need to choose who's going to do the prepping. I'm doing the prepping, so I'm going to say apply to all, And the category, I'm going to say no prep is needed. If you had baby products or something that you met one of these cards, you make sure you enter that. I'm going to say no prep needed and say continue. And we're pretty much done. I don't have any errors or anything. We're pretty much done there. Then I have my shipment here. I can give it some name. Kevin's second shipment LTL example. And I got lucky. They also saying ship this all to Dallas. Now sometimes this will show up and it'll have 3 different places here. And it might have said ship 7 cases to Pennsylvania, 3 cases to Dallas, 2 to somewhere else. But in this case, I got lucky again that they're all going to Dallas. But I'm getting lucky here, and they're just having me ship to 1. So I'm going to say work on shipment. And let's say this time we're going to ship this by freight. So I'm going to choose the LTL. This is going to go by a big truck, a big semi truck. And I can choose my partner here, but this means I'm going to have to pay for it. I'd rather let Amazon assign me somebody. And they'll pick whoever is going to be the most cost efficient that's going to work within their network. It takes about 24 hours for you to get to what's called a BOL, or bill of lading, and before they assign somebody. So you don't know immediately, you know like the next day. So this is not a shipment. They're not going to come pick this up today. If you use UPS, the standard parcel delivery, you can either you can schedule UPS to come pick it up. You can't do that through Amazon, but you could. If you have a daily pickup with Amazon, UPS, or you have your own UPS account, you can set up daily pickups. If you don't have that, you can take them to like a UPS store or UPS center, or some like office depots and some other places like that, except UPS shipments. Or if you're using your 3PL, they'll take care of all that for you. Now, if this was freight, but you can't ship it today, and you can't take it there. They're going to come pick it up, and typically you want to do it at least 2 days out. Sometimes you can get away with 1 day, but typically at least 2 days out, because they're going to take them about 24 hours to assign a freight company to you. They're going to email you what's called a bill of lading. It's kind of like an invoice or like a receipt of what the trucking company is picking up. You're going to print that out in duplicate so that you have 1 copy and the driver has 1 copy, because they'll sign that when they come and pick it up. And then they'll come and pick it up on the day that you schedule. But let's walk through an example here. So if I'm going to do a truckload, and so I'm going to come here. You have some options here. If you're sharing a shipment, I'm going to skip that for right now. But if we come here to shipping packaging, I'm going to say I got 1 SKU per box. So this is the same things that were 50 per case. So 1 SKU per box. That's what I recommend you try to do whenever you can. I have the web form that we're going to use just like we did before. What did I say we had? We had 20 boxes, right? 20 total boxes, and there's 50 per box. So I'm going to tell Amazon basically the same data again. And if you make a mistake here, they'll say, oops, there's been an error, like they just did here. Error has been found. See, what I did is I said number of boxes 20 and 20. So they're like, oops, there's an error. So if you make an error, so this should actually be 10 and 10. Confirm. Everything is good, no error. And here I can print my box labels. So these are the labels that remember I told you earlier, if you're shipping by freight, you're going to put a label on the box, and then you have to put all the boxes onto the pallet, shrink wrap the pallet, and then put another set of labels on the outside of the shrink wrap, 1 on each side. So I can say plain paper or labels here, and this will generate the labels. So there's 20 labels to print. Generate box labels. It's going to throw out a PDF here. So you can see here, then you can print those out or give these to your supplier or to your 3PL company. And once you've done that, it'll show you here how to do everything. They want a maximum weight per pallet of 1,500 pounds. And so they should give you some specs here. Here you're going to enter the dimensions of the pallet. So remember I said they're 48 by 40, and how tall it is. And this is going to be in inches. The maximum is 60 because there's 12 inches in a foot. So 12 times 5 is 60. So let's say I don't know what this is, but we'd have to measure it out. Let's say it's 3 feet, 36. The weight of this, these were 34 pounds each. I'm putting 20 of them. So 20 times 34 is 680. And then you have to add for the pallet. So the pallets, typically, if you're using typical wooden pallets, they weigh about 42 pounds. If you're using plastic ones, they may weigh a little bit differently. So I got 680 plus 42 for the pallet. So that's 722 pounds. And I was able to get all this on 1 pallet. Maybe it would have been 2, and then you split this up, whatever the measurements are. In this case, it's 1 pallet. I'm going to say the freight ready date. You need to do it at least 2 days out. So I would say the 24th. Sometimes you can get away with a day out, 2 days out. Here, you can enter the freight class. These freight classes will make a huge difference on how much you pay. So, and they're based on a number of things. Freight classes, there's 18 different classes here. 50 is the least expensive one. The top one here is the least expensive, and 500 down here is the most expensive. So basically the way it works is based on density and how compact they are. So things that are high in density and less likely to be damaged, they have these lower numbers. So things that are kind of heavy and less likely to be damaged have these lower numbers. Things that are a little bit more fragile or they're not very dense, like ping pong balls or something, are going to have these higher numbers. There are some websites you can Google, or your freight forwarder will probably know this, but you can Google some of this and you can see here like some examples. Freight class 50, for example, might are very durable items. And freight class 55 is like bricks and mortar, and you're probably not going to be shipping that in it. Car parts and accessories are 60. And you can see on down like ping pong balls are 500. They cost, and because they weigh, the weight per cubic foot is less. Or you can take a look at something like this one here, and you can see that this will show the commodity classification, and it'll show the average maximum value per pound. So you can there's calculators online that will do this stuff for you, or your freight forwarder will do it. If you're in doubt, you can just say estimate your freight class, or just put 50. Declared value is the value of your items. So what at cost? It's what would be the replacement cost. If you don't do it, they'll calculate it at $1.50 a pound. I don't know. Let's just say it's $1,500 in this case. And then once you've entered, you got to add a contact person. So you add contact person here. Just enter a phone number. That's not my real phone number. And a fax if you want. That way the trucking company has somebody. Oops, they're going to want me to do something like that. Oops, let's save it. Use this contact. There we go. And then once you have, that's for the trucking company if they have a question or they're coming to get it, and then you're going to calculate the freight. And you can see here, once it calculates this freight, it's only going to cost me $93. This is just crazy low shipping. $93 to ship in 722 pounds. That's just insane. 20 boxes. But just remember, when they pick this up, they're going to pick it up. I can't ship it today. UPS, you can get it out today. You're going to pick it up on the 24th. It has to be on a pallet. It has to be shrink wrapped, so there's extra work. And it's going to take longer to get checked in, because this freight, whatever, they assigned it here to A.A. Cooper Transportation, so we know that that's who's going to come pick it up. Tomorrow, I will get a bill of lading that has like documents that this goes to the trucking company, and that I'm going to print out, and I'm going to get one signed and keep for me as my proof of pickup, and another one signed that they'll take. And then you can say accept or reject this. So I accept the $93. Agree to the terms. And again, you're going to have the time frame here I only have 59 minutes in this case to avoid this. And then here I'm going to print the labels that are going to go on the outside of the pallet. So there's a second set of labels. So here we have these are the ones after, not go on the box, but these go outside on the shrink wrap. So you're going to want to give these also to your 3PL or to your Chinese manufacturer if they're doing this for you. They're going to need both sets of these. So those are some of the basics there that you need to know on how to create a shipment to send into Amazon. You can send in, you're in control of when you ship stuff in. Just remember, if you ship in too much, you will be charged storage fees by Amazon, and then you'd have to take that product back out or pay those high storage fees. They don't want to be a warehouse. They want to be a fulfillment center. So keep that in mind when you're shipping these in. You can prepare these at any time. So you can come in here and you can prepare these labels, and you can give them to your supplier way in advance. Um, and the 3PL guys can come in, the box labels. Now the actual shipping labels, like the UPS labels, those you're going to want to do a little bit closer to when you're actually shipping it. But you can come in here and print the FN SKUs and the labels that go on products and the labels that go on the master boxes in advance, just by getting those PDFs. So hopefully this has given you a quick overview of how to prepare a shipment to ship into Amazon so that Amazon FBA can take care of everything for you. We'll see you in the next module.